Imagine life without a refrigerator. No freezer, no ability to simply open a door and grab fresh milk or chilled meat. Today, this seems impossible, but just 100 years ago, it was reality for millions of Americans. How did they manage? Today, we'll dive into the fascinating history of food preservation and discover the ingenious methods our ancestors used to keep food fresh. Before electric refrigerators appeared in the 1930s, the main method of cooling food was the icebox, an insulated wooden cabinet. The principle was simple. A huge block of ice weighing 25 to 100 pounds was placed in the upper chamber, and cold air descended, cooling the food below. Ice was delivered by special icemen who regularly brought ice blocks to homes. In winter, ice was harvested from frozen lakes and rivers, cut into blocks, and stored in special ice houses covered with sawdust. One ice block could keep things cool for 2 to 3 days, after which a new delivery was needed. The root cellar was a true lifesaver for American families. Dug deep into the earth, it maintained a naturally cool temperature year-round, usually around 50 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Root vegetables were stored here: potatoes, carrots, beets, onions. Apples could last in cellars for months without losing quality. Sand was an important element. Root vegetables were buried in boxes of moist sand, preventing drying and rotting. Some farmers built special root cellars with ventilation systems that regulated humidity and temperature. Cellars also stored canned goods, jams, and pickles. Entire shelves of jars provided families with food throughout the winter. Canning was a true art and vital skill. Every summer, American housewives engaged in preserving for winter. The process was labor-intensive but necessary. Vegetables and fruits were sterilized in boiling water in glass jars with airtight lids. Canning technology became popular after the Civil War, when affordable glass jars with metal lids appeared. Salting was another ancient method. Cucumbers, cabbage for fermentation, meat, all were preserved in salt brine. Salt drew out moisture, creating an environment unsuitable for bacteria. Sauerkraut was a main source of vitamins in winter. Meat smoking was also common. Smoke not only added flavor, but acted as a preservative. Drying was one of the oldest preservation methods. Fruits, apples, peaches, apricots were sliced thin and dried in the sun or in special drying cabinets. Dried foods took up little space and could be stored for years. Native Americans taught European settlers to dry meat, creating pemmican, a mixture of dried meat with fat and berries that was incredibly nutritious and long-lasting. On farms, they dried herbs, mushrooms, even vegetables. Mushrooms and peppers strung on thread hung in kitchens, creating winter supplies. Legumes, beans, peas, naturally dried in pods right on the plants, then were threshed and stored in sacks. Storing dairy products was a special challenge. Fresh milk spoiled quickly, so it was purchased in small portions daily. Milkmen delivered bottles of fresh milk early morning, leaving them on porches. To keep milk fresh longer, special milk houses were used, small ventilated structures, often located over cold springs or streams. Water cooled the air inside, creating a natural refrigerator. Butter was stored in clay crocks lowered into cold well water. Cheese was rubbed with wax or wrapped in cloth soaked in vinegar to prevent mold. Many families made cottage cheese and fermented dairy products that lasted longer than fresh milk. Farmers and rural residents used natural sources of cold. Spring houses were built directly over cold springs, underground waters that maintained temperatures around 50 degrees year-round. Milk bottles, butter crocks, and other perishables were placed in stone troughs with running water. Some families lowered food directly into wells in special buckets or baskets. Streams were also used as natural refrigerators. Wooden boxes with food were lowered into cold running water and secured with ropes. This method was especially popular in summer when other cooling methods were less effective. Such solutions show people's incredible ingenuity in using natural resources. When electric refrigerators became available in the 1930s, they revolutionized American household life. Suddenly, there was no need to buy ice, shop daily, or worry about milk souring overnight. But the methods our ancestors used weren't just primitive solutions. They demonstrated deep understanding of nature, ingenuity, and ability to work with what's available. Many of these techniques, canning, drying, fermentation, are regaining popularity today as ways to preserve food without chemical additives. The history of food storage shows us how dependent we are on technology, but also reminds us of the wisdom and resourcefulness of past generations. When electric refrigerators became available in the 1930s, they revolutionized American household life. Suddenly, there was no need to buy ice, shop daily, or worry about milk souring overnight. But the methods our ancestors used weren't just primitive solutions. They demonstrated deep understanding of nature, ingenuity, and ability to work with what's available. Many of these techniques, canning, drying, fermentation, are regaining popularity today as ways to preserve food without chemical additives. The history of food storage shows us how dependent we are on technology, but also reminds us of the wisdom and resourcefulness of past generations.